I actually hate that I'm doing this. I'm not a personality. I don't like to be in front of a camera, but I have a lot of friends who are very curious about trading stocks, and one by one they always ask me, "Will you teach me everything you know about trading?" And it takes a lot of time, and then as soon as I finished helping one person, someone else comes up and says, "Hey, would you teach me everything you know about trading?" And it just seemed a little easier for me to do it in this format where I could say, "Here, have a link to my YouTube channel." So that's basically the reason I'm doing this channel. My name is Kenneth. I've been a self-employed stock trader for the last 8 years. I work from home for myself, by myself. And basically the reason I started trading stocks was because I was getting tired of the 9 to 5 life. I was working at a gym, and before that in the restaurant industry. I've written a couple of books, but I just was realizing that this status quo 9 to 5 life just didn't appeal to me. Having managers and team meetings and getting ridiculed for not hitting your quota and stuff, that kind of thing didn't appeal to me. And I was always interested in the stock market. In fact, when I was graduating high school, I really wanted a laptop for my graduation present. And when I got the computer, I realized how great it was. And I called my mom's stockbroker and I said, I want 300 shares of Apple. At the time in 2003, Apple stock was about $9 a share. And he just said, absolutely not. It's a waste. And I said, but all my friends have iPods and everyone's doing this iTunes thing. And he said, listen, man, nobody's going to be buying music on the computer. It's a total niche product. It's a niche, whatever. Nobody's interested in it. It's not going to last. It's not sustainable. People like to have an album. And I thought, oh, okay. I really want stock in Apple anyway. And he said, you're throwing away your money. And he really talked me out of it. And he said, why don't you watch the stock for a week and see how it does? Well, within the course of a week, Apple had gone from $9 to $12 a share, and I was furious. So I called him and he said, all right, fine, you want some stock? Get 100 shares. I wanted 300. He talked me down to 100 shares, and within the course of several years, Apple stock skyrocketed. It went from $12 to 200, and then the recession hit. And I called him and I said, what do I do? And he gave me the worst advice anyone has ever given me. He said, sell it, sell all of it. And I panicked and I sold my Apple stock. Now it had got it at 12, went up to 200. Now it was $70 a share. And he was telling me to sell. What he should have said was, you're young. It's a great company with great products. Buy more. I sold my stock. And as it started climbing higher and higher, I felt like I really goofed. And then gradually it got up to about $700 a share. And I felt sick. And I kept adding it up in my calculator over and over to see how much money I could have potentially made, and it was making me ill. So I thought, I really need to learn something about the stock market. Years later now, I'm working at a gym, and all the members who are coming in are really super interested in trading stocks. And I'm listening to them and they're talking about, I bought this, I sold that, I made this, I lost that. And I thought it was super interesting. And so I started talking to them. But I realized really early on, that these guys had no clue what they were doing. They were old and they were retired and they were bored. And I thought old and retired meant old and wise and they were smart and they knew what they were doing. They didn't. They were just bored fucking around, buying a couple shares of this, a couple shares of that. But they would come in and they would tell me, I bought 5,000 shares of this company that no one had ever heard of. And instead of doing my own research and investigating and learning, I just bought it. And I lost money hand over foot. I kept losing money. And I was getting sick. I felt ill. I couldn't believe all this money was going away. And my friends, these people at the gym, kept on telling me, buy this, buy that. And it dawned on me pretty quickly after I lost several $1,000s that these guys had no clue what they were talking about. So at the same time that I was kind of burning out from the minimum wage life and working for other people, managers, I was getting really interested in stock trading. And I started experimenting, buying a little, trading here and there as I could, as I felt comfortable, until I got some real experience. About a year passed. I decided it was time to leave the gym. They decided it was time for me to leave the gym too. And we parted ways. And I decided at that moment, about 8 years ago, that I was going to become a full-time stock trader. And, here we are. So the point of this tutorial is to teach you everything that I've learned. I'm not one of these guys out here selling you access to a private club or an email list that you have to pay to get. I'm not paying you. I'm not charging you for a course. I'm not saying, if you want to learn how to make millions, you got to buy my course. I'm not doing what these other guys do. I'm just trying to help. I think it's something that if it's done right, it can give you a lot of personal freedom. You can work a little bit less. You can have a higher quality of life. That's the point of this channel. I hope it helps. I hope you learn something at the very least, even if you don't quit your job. Maybe you start trading or investing a little bit more and you learn something. So please like, please subscribe. Have a good day, and thanks for checking out the page.